What's going on, everybody? It's Tony again. Welcome you to another video at Comiverse. And in today's episode of Tony's Comic Spotlight, we're going to be talking about Batman number 408. Now, this is supposed to be, or no, this is the first post-crisis appearance of Jason Todd. Now, he actually first appeared, I believe it was in Batman 357, and that's also along with the first appearance of Killer Croc. But after Crisis on Infinite Earths, the miniseries, they went back and kind of rebooted some origins for some characters, and they rebooted Jason Todd, or retconned Jason Todd's origin for this book. It's pretty cool, but also this series, or this issue, has another title, and it's called Did Robin Die Tonight? And we'll get into that right after the intro, so stick around. So when the story opens for Batman 408, we have a rooftop confrontation between Batman and the Joker, and the Joker has been bragging about stealing some diamonds called the Smile of Death or something. And Robin is actually scaling the building behind the Joker. And so Joker's sitting there taunting Batman about how Batman don't use guns. He said, but he doesn't have that quip. And then without even another moment's thought, he turns around and fires 2 shots and shoots Robin in the shoulder. And Robin falls back off the building and gets entangled into his grappling wire. Now, it should be noted that I should have mentioned before this, that at this point in time, Robin is Richard Grayson, or Dick Grayson. So he falls back and he's entangled in the wires. And Batman is trying to decide whether to save Robin or capture the Joker, and the Joker's taunting him, and the Joker Copper shows up, and Joker's trying to get away, and Robin tells him he's okay, and Joker anyway he's able to catch the Joker, and then Robin falls off the line, which he's able to save him, and then he just takes off. But there's also a news copter there that gets everything on camera, and it's a stormy night, but they see Robin, or Batman, carrying Robin off, and they're wondering if Robin was critically hurt. And the next thing you see is, and they actually start reporting, did Robin die? Because nobody knew at the time. They just speculated whether or not Robin had actually died. Next thing you see is is Richard in the bed at Wayne Manor, and Batman finally decides that, if the public thinks that Robin died, that he's going to let them believe that Robin will stay dead. And this angers Dick, and he's like, you can't stop me from doing this. And, of course, everybody knows that from this point on, that Richard would leave, I guess, and become Nightwing. He also tells, Commissioner Gordon that Robin's, he lived, but he's sidelining him. And he kind of talks about how, I believe he briefly discusses, now all of a sudden he has, issues with putting children in danger as his sidekick. He goes later on in the issue. He goes and has a lunch, or I believe it was lunch, with Vicky Vale, and they run afoul. He's as Bruce Wayne, and they run afoul a group of people trying to mug this guy. Bruce tries to stop them, and I believe they end up getting away. After this altercation and lunch, Bruce offers to drive Vicky somewhere, and she says, "No, I don't think you want to go to Crime Alley." And she starts telling him. He's like, "Why do you want to go to Crime Alley?" And she's like, "Well, I'm following up a story about this lady named Ma Gunn, and she's running a boarding school, or a school for boys, and she's trying to help clean up Crime Alley, and she's going down there to do a story on her." And then so this prompts Batman to go. I mean, that might not prompt him to go into Crime Alley, but he goes through there as Bruce at first, and he goes as Batman. He goes and meets the lady, And promptly, you know, Crime Alley is where Batman's parents was killed. And once a year he goes up there. Now the funny thing is you know, like I said, once a year he goes to Crime Alley, and it's funny because all the criminals know the day he's going to show up. So there's like a picture. I'm gonna put it, if I don't forget, I'll put it somewhere, where he's just strolling down the street in his Batman outfit, and everybody's like, you know, it says like, Batman, nice night for a stroll, huh? And he's like, gentlemen. You know, they're kind of like making fun of the fact that, hey, we know you're coming today, so guess what? We're not doing anything. And he's walking around. Now, of course, this is after he meets Ma Gunn. He goes back to the Batmobile and is shocked to see that the 2 front tires have been taken off the Batmobile and stolen. And he just does what anybody else, well, probably not anybody else, but he just starts laughing. He thinks it's funnier than hell. And then a few moments later, the culprit comes back, and he looks at this small young boy and goes, "Did you come to finish what you started?" And then, anyway, this young boy ends up hitting Batman in the gut with a tire iron, takes off running. Batman, you know, trails him to where he's at, and then he shows up and he says, you know, as the boy lights up a cigarette, and he goes, "That'll stunt your growth." And he goes, "Hey, man, just take your tires and get the hell out." You know, he didn't say get the hell out. He says, "Just take your tires and leave, man. Just leave me alone." And he realizes that this kid is living in this abandoned, I guess, building or whatever by himself, because he asked him, he says, "Where's your father? Or where's your parents?" And he goes, "My father's a guy, works for a gangster, so he's probably in jail, and my mom is dead." And he finds out that this kid, of course, ultimately is Jason Todd. So he takes pity on the kid, and they go and put the wheels back on the Batmobile, and he takes Jason to Ma Gunn's orphanage. And you come to find out at the end of the story that Ma Gunn, the same guys, or same people that was mugging that guy when Bruce and Vicky were having lunch, are part of Ma Gunn's boarding school. And apparently she's running a little underground criminal enterprise, and it says to be continued next issue. I may do 409 later, but if I remember correctly, and y'all feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I believe in 409, it may get tied up pretty quickly, but I think Batman knew something was going on, and he just used Jason as a stoolie, or as a, I guess you can say a decoy. I'm trying to figure out the right word, to go see what was going on. But he, you know, him and Jason end up busting Ma Gunn's boarding school. I do want to point out in this particular issue, Batman 408, story-wise, is supposed to be the last, I guess, story featuring Richard Grayson as Robin. You know, he is near fatal altercation with the Joker, and his, you know, ultimately leaving and becoming Nightwing. I'm going to point this out because maybe it's just me. Maybe I just think it's ironic. But, you know, Batman 408, the Joker almost killed Robin, Dick Grayson. It's also the first, supposedly the first, you know, post-crisis appearance of Jason Todd. And ironically, 20 issues later, the Joker would kill Robin, aka Jason Todd. And I just thought that was weird, because if things would have went a different way, Richard Grayson would have been the first Robin that Joker killed. And I just think it's odd or ironic that the Joker was a key factor in the last missions of Dick Grayson as Robin and Jason Todd as Robin. But that's just me. I mean, if y'all find that kind of ironic, just let me know in the comments below. But as far as the death of Jason Todd, that is definitely a comic spotlight that I'll be doing in the future. And there you have it. I hope y'all enjoyed this look at Batman 408. It's a really cool book, and I enjoyed doing the comic spotlight on it. And hopefully soon. I've got some more videos coming out the first week of New Year's. They're more of best ofs. And then we'll do another comic spotlight and another Tony's Topics. So until then, I'll see you next time.